Hi everyone, welcome to this video and probably blog post depending on where you find me. So if you are on YouTube, let me know and subscribe to the channel so you get updated on my videos and you get notified as well. And I would appreciate the support. And if you're on my blog post, leave a comment below the blog post and I wanted to cover this in detail. So if you're in business or self-development, you've probably came across this term that before a breakthrough, a breakdown has to kind of happen, okay? And excuse me, for years I thought, okay, cool, so if I'm feeling like I'm feeling right now, which is probably sad or a little bit angry or whatever it is, it's probably because I'm going to be having a breakthrough. But I want to take it down a notch or even go into it in more detail. So for change to permanently or at least happen long term, there's 3 things that must happen, okay? First thing is, you got to get rid of the active emotions that are negative that are in your body, okay? The negative emotions like anger, sadness, guilt, hurt, and limiting beliefs that are in your body. And what I mean by that is that you've held on to them, okay? And there was a time when you first felt angry and that has just stacked up the emotions and you've held on to it. It's in your body. And a sign for you to see if you've got active emotions in your body that haven't been released is that if you're somebody who perhaps gets angry and the anger stays with you for longer than 2 minutes, okay? If you're angry for hours or days or weeks or months, then on the same thing, that means you are somebody who's got active emotions in the body and they need to be released. That is the first thing I started doing with one of the first things I started doing with my clients. And when they release these emotions that have been in their body for years, right, which is natural, it happens, right? We generally do hold on to emotions that are attached, negative emotions that are attached to a specific event that happened when we were younger, way younger, sometimes as well before that time, which I don't want to cover out right now. But when we are, say for example, if you're a mom and your kids are probably fighting and they're like dangerously fighting and you're like, you're gonna stop and they're not listening and you snap at them, okay? That small little snapping at the kids to stop them from fighting, you just raising your voice to protect them. If you feel angry for longer than 2 minutes, that means there's stuff in your body that needs to be released, because emotion, anger, physically can't stay in your body for more than 90 minutes to 120 seconds, 60 to 120 seconds, right? And I will leave a reference to that actually at this post, at the end of this post, when I'm done here, where I got that from. Scientifically, like, emotion of anger doesn't stay in your body for longer than about 2 minutes, okay? But I know from my previous experience that I can be angry for longer than 2 minutes, and that was because I had anger was inside my body from way before, like when I was a child, right? It happened and I was holding on to it. So that meant that every time it would be activated, because you need anger and you need sadness, you need these emotions. They are a way for you to communicate and they give you motivation, but they shouldn't be in your body for longer than 2 minutes, okay? It gets unhealthy. There's other things attached to it and you'll find that I've mentioned that in another blog post about it, which we're not going to go into it today. But they should be in and out. You should be getting into the anger emotion and you're meant to get out of it. Okay, that's healthy, right? When you stay in, it's not healthy. And it's a sign that you need to release yourself from one of those emotions, which is anger. And especially if you are angry at something and you're getting flashbacks and you remember your parents probably behave the same way as you're behaving with your kids, that's another sign that there's active emotions that are still there in your body. So when we start releasing these emotions, there's things that people experience, okay? And that is a sign that you are due to have a breakthrough. So let me go back to the 3 things that are needed for a change, okay, to happen long term. First, you gotta get rid of the emotions, the negative emotions that are active in your body, okay? And then you got to follow through and create your future, put in affirmations, put in new program that you want once the negativity has been released. Because what happens is, if the negative emotions haven't been released, you've got this bundle here of negative emotions, and what you're doing is you're adding affirmations on top of that, and you're trying to follow the affirmations, you're trying to follow the new instructions that you're giving to your mind, the self-development, and it will help. It just takes so long for those emotions to go, and sometimes they don't even go, they just stay there because you're just suppressing them. Okay, when we release the emotions first, you're starting on a clean slate. When you put affirmations on, they're coming on to a clean state, a clean body, a clean mind. That's released from negative emotions that don't need to be in your body for that long, right? So you put it in, and then it works, right? So we do that first. Remove negative emotions, then we put in new programming, creating your future, your values, go on top of that. Then we take action on what you want, right? We enforce new boundaries, like I said. Then they'll work, because then you're absorbing them. There's nothing stopping you. There's no muck that's stopping you from getting absorbed into your body and your system. And then you focus on what you want. You only focus on what you want, right? So there's a lot of training that needs to be done, and it has to happen in that order. So when you are going through the interventions of when you are releasing anger, you're releasing sadness, you're releasing hurt and fear and guilt and limited beliefs from your body, you will experience some negative effects of that. This is what we say, the breakdown before the breakthrough. Okay, so I'm going to go through them now with you. You might experience that you'll feel tired. You might feel confused. You might feel upset. Okay, you might have physical symptoms like stomach problems, like aches, stomach aches, or a headache, right? This is pretty normal. This is absolutely normal. When I was doing the intervention, when I got the intervention done myself, I had a lot of headaches. My headaches were from here, and I get them often when I do a lot of spiritual work. It's basically acid releasing from your body. Negative emotion create acidity in your body, and when they're released, you get effects. It's pretty normal, but we are not aware of it because no one knows this stuff happens, right? It's the same thing if I was to explain to you in a physical way. If you were to go to gym, lift the weights, tone, and you are working on a specific muscle, you'll know that, so let's talk about abs, right? Especially for the women. We love to have toned abs, right? We want them. To get toned abs, we've got to work on that muscle. It's painful. You're going to tear that muscle, right? And then the new muscle's created, stronger. When you're tearing, when you're doing these sit-ups and press-ups and all these stuff to tone your abs, you're going to feel achy, right? Your stomach's going to hurt for several days. But what you're going to get is a toned abs, right? Your six-pack, if that's what you want, right? That's what you're going to get. And the same concept of releasing the emotions, you're going to get who you want, the real you, okay? The real you. And you're releasing, you're tearing, and you're removing these negative emotions from your mind and body. It's going to be painful, a little bit uncomfortable. Just the way you'll get achy abs, right, for a few days or weeks until you get the, until your body gets used to the exercise. I don't think it ever does get used to it. You're always going to feel a little bit of achiness because you're always going to push yourself a little bit more. But what you're doing is you're getting that perfect looking shaped abs, right? Same here, you're getting your perfect you, the real you, the one that you absolutely want, the affirmations that you're always creating. And what it does is when you become that real you, there's no conflict. Because sometimes, actually all the time, what we do is we say affirmations, and then there's this voice in the back of our mind that's saying, no, you're not. No, you can't do it. Right? That's, you're releasing yourself from that negative voice when you're releasing emotions, right? So you're becoming your best self, right? And it does come with uncomfortableness. So you will have some breakdowns. At this time, what you would do is give yourself a lot of self-love. Put in affirmations. Slowly bring that habit in. Slowly as you're feeling that. Drink more water. If you're drinking enough water right now, say 2 litres at least per day, for an average person, then drink a little bit more. Drink 2-3 more cups or glasses of water, right, during this time. Because the negative emotions are getting out of your body. You're just going to go through some uncomfortableness in the beginning, right, until you overcome the full intervention. And usually this part of the intervention lasts for about 3 to 4 hours or 3 to 4 weeks if you have sessions with myself or any other coach. per week, 1 session a week. That's 3 to 4 weeks. But this only happens for a few days during that time, if that, or even a few hours. Everyone's different, but it shouldn't last that long. But you will have it, and this is normal. This is your breakdown before you break through. And if you're not having this, then there's something to be worried about. If you are sitting up, if you're doing sit-ups, like 100, 500 sit-ups, right, and you're not feeling achy and painful, there's something wrong. It's not normal, unless if you've been doing it for several years, right? So when you're starting something new, I mean, even doing 10, 20 sit-ups, yeah, they are sit-ups, it's awkward. You're going to feel uncomfortable. So this is the first time you've actually went into your unconscious mind to release those emotions. It is uncomfortable. You've never done it before. And it's exciting because you are due to get a breakthrough. Okay? So allow it. Excuse me. Allow it. Like I said, when I had this myself, excuse me, I felt confused and bored. I was bored. Did I mention that? I did mention bored. Yeah, you feel boredom as well. Some people feel boredom. I felt boredom and I had a headache. So I had to drink a lot of water to get through it. But once I was done, once the full intervention was completed, I felt released. I had more energy. Excuse me. This is what happens when you talk a lot. For the last perhaps 3 to 4 years, I was living on supplements just to get the energy, just to get out of bed. And now there's days or nights when I'm not sleeping like full 7 hours, right? 5 hours, 6 hours, and I feel energetic, right? Because the emotions are out of my body. Excuse me. I better drink water. So the emotions are out of my body. They're not wearing me down, because when they're in your body, they tire you out. It's like you're holding on to weights, right? So when they are released, you feel lighter. And that's how I feel. So it's been about a month for myself, actually more than a month, that I had this done for the first time. And as I'm helping my clients, they are going to go through the same thing or similar to whatever it is. Some people feel achy, some people have just tiredness, some people feel upset. Everyone's different, but you will have that uncomfortableness, and that is normal. You have to have it, otherwise there's going to be no breakthrough, right? This is how us humans function. We've got to go down or go up, and this will happen several times in different ways in your life. These are just signs, okay? So hope that's been useful. I think I've covered what I wanted to in this specific video. Obviously, if you're watching the blog post, if you're reading the blog post, check more on this. I will leave some references. But when you're done, you'll feel released. And it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. It's a feeling that we're supposed to be in, right? We are entitled to this. We're not supposed to hold on to anything negative. Our unconscious mind naturally learns from experiences. Right, like for example, if you were to touch a hot gas hob, right, you won't do it again because it's probably burnt your finger, or you felt some discomfort from the heat. You won't do it again, right? You learn the lesson. This is something we do naturally when we go in to a negative event of the past. For example, we learn the lessons. We know what to do next if it happens again. And all it is that you are releasing the negative emotion from the events, right, which is something different to this video anyway, but I just want to cover that. And you are getting the learnings. So you're deleting the negative active emotions and you're getting the learnings like you do anyway. But sometimes there's another part of us that likes to hold on to things because it likes to hold on to things. It likes to feel self-pity, and it has to have that. And then what you do is you just teach it, you train it, you retrain your mind. This is the best way I found myself to do, with the fastest way that I could teach myself and my clients to do. And on top of that, you do your normal thing as well. After you release these emotions, you do your not normal thing. You would do your routines like meditation, affirmations that you already probably do. If you don't, then something you might want to be thinking about doing is that it'll be more effective. It'll go straight in to your unconscious mind because there's no layers of negativity there. Okay, hope that was useful. So I've covered a little bit of everything, but the main focus here was that if you're having these emotions of upsetness, feeling upset, tired, headache, boredom, you're ready for a breakthrough. You're gonna get it. So stay the course, okay? And it's normal. So if anything, this video is for you to know and acknowledge that it's pretty normal for you to go through these emotions. We're just not aware of it. No one teaches us this. No one teaches you this in school. So hopefully you'll get it here. Leave any comments, any feedback. I'll catch you later.